Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today we're going to be doing our first dedicated market watch for you guys. I hope to be able to do more of these. I look at the market all the time. I'm always just in flux. I've just never really had time to do a dedicated video or series for them. If you're interested in me continuing this on, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I will continue to try to provide as much feedback as I can. Now, my focus isn't necessarily on the cards that are going to make you rich, okay? I'm looking at cards that are meta kind of defining or future meta defining, cards that I might predict might fall down a little bit potentially depending on how the meta unfolds, and cards that should in theory be going up depending on how the meta turns out. So if you're interested in that aspect of it as from more of a player perspective, then this is definitely going to be the video for you. Also, don't forget that our new memory marker this month is a Digimon. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand-painted face as well. Super, super cute. Very, very detailed. Some of the best work that she's ever done for us for the channel. You can find that on our Etsy store, link in the description below. Also there, you can find all of our previous memory markers we've had on our channel, like our armors for all you armor players out there, and as well as some of our Battle Ready Inc. merch. Also, just got a low-key kind of show these guys off. Did manage to get them in the mail today. Wanted to show them one time as the XAbilities and the Palmons have already sold to one of our awesome fans of the channel. So very cool to finally get these. But the price, as we're about to go over, was just too much for me to actually keep and play for myself. As much as I wanted that XAbilities in my deck, I could not justify it over these prices. Look at this. So these are actual prices that people are buying at. Okay, the Digimon sitting at 100, and then they just go up from there. The Vmon at 180, the XAbilities at 400, Palmons 750, and they just keep going up from there. And like you think, oh, well, the prices are going to fall. They'll probably go down some, especially as we get more Ultimate Cups in. But, I mean, they're selling at this price. Like, clearly they're selling at them because I sold some today. So, yeah, it's pretty wild that the prices are this high. But I must say, like, seeing them in person, oh, my God, they're so gorgeous. I love them so much. I would absolutely play them if the price wasn't so high. Honestly, the price is so high that I just couldn't do it. You would love to have these in your deck. Like I sat there for hours today before I posted mine for sale. That do I want to sell them or not? Like that's a lot of money. But oh my goodness, their quality and the gorgeousness of them, it was just hard to. It was a big debate. It was a lot of money, but it was a big debate keeping them for real. But we got BT8 coming out this week, so this is kind of one we're going to look at a little bit. Now, most of these are, again, pre-sale prices for TCG Player, as the game has released in English overseas everywhere else, just not North America. But for a lot of these, like, you know, these are still pre-sale prices on all these alt arts, still sitting at $40. It's actually not too bad on some of them. Some of them are for sale, like this Rapidmon. I think one of the things that did surprise me, though, was like the Gammamon alt art is low. Compared to all the others, it's already down to $25. But the big one here was the box topper, Davis and Ken. Now, this card is used in two of, like, I would say the top three best decks of this format. You know, Imperial and Armor Rush, and for it to be used in both of those, very important. And you want that box topper, you know, that full artwork, hollow, you know, absolutely wonderful, gorgeous card. Like, that's still a very, like, expensive price for a box topper. This is going to go down, like, absolutely 100% without a doubt. Box toppers always go down. Most of these prices will go down, in fact. All these super rares still sitting at, you know, like, decent prices. Literally, Creepymon has gone down in price as I've sat here today and watched it. So it just keeps going lower and lower. You might actually look at picking up a set of Creepymon. I feel like those prices are going to be really, really low, and someone is going to release something, and it's going to blow your mind of like how crazy this is. I actually have my deck profile for it coming out tomorrow, and it's powerful. I mean, free 9 memory in one turn just to like go into a Zort and like set it up to do it all over again is like truly terrifying. So just be on the lookout for that. I'm serious. Like, it's some good stuff for sure. And then just kind of some other stuff in here, like pretty low prices. I mean, again, these are all pre-sales. A lot of this stuff is going to go down. The things that I'm curious about, though, is on prices of what will go up and what will go down. The Hour Umon, I feel like, I don't know, $40. It might stay around that. Same with Flame Dramon. Both of these are going to be so sought after. I think these are probably two of the most sought after, most used cards. Rapidmon and Ophanimon also very used. But like right now in this moment, I think these two are going to be the most sought after, and they might go up initially, but I'm not sure where they're going to fall. All right, and then taking a look at some singles here, we got Davis. I don't think Davis is going to do much different. It's on the rise, a little bit of a rise here, but overall, I think it's going to sit in this price range. It's used, again, for two of the best decks of this format. Even those decks, persist all the way through EX2 and a little bit into BT9. They're still fairly competitive, Armor Rush and Imperial both. So, like, this card's going to stay here. Yes, it's got a reprint coming, but that reprint doesn't come to way down the road. We got a long ways till this reprint comes out of those alt arts. So this card's just going to stay relevant, so don't expect it to drop. I mean, if you haven't got yours and you're planning on playing one of those two decks, definitely just go ahead and pick it up because it's not going to drop. It's going to just hover around this for a while. And then speaking of stuff that's coming up, we're looking at X-Antibody stuff here. One of the things I want to point out for you guys, Doru Greymon here. This is the pre-release. This is the hollow foil pre-release version of this one, right? This is just basically a common. There's no hollow on it. This one is hollow, and that's why this price is so outrageous. I say outrageous, but for a pre-release that's like heavily used, like this card is, this is like the best level 5 in X-Antibody Black, like by far, by none, like no contest. It's the best level 5. Like you want 4 playsets of this. Keep in mind, tournament packs coming out, there's going to be a new Doru Greymon that comes out there. It's got that silver background. Instead of like the lightning bolt here, it's just going to be that silver background. So as far as max rarity, there's a debate of pre-release or tournament pack silver backing, which one is going to be more. So either way, though, this price should fall. Once there is a competing top rarity card, I think this price will fall. So if you're on the fence about getting these, I would hold off just a little bit longer till those new tournament packs come out. Now looking at Dorumon, this card, there's no way it's gonna, like, I can't imagine it falling any more than this. This card is just going to be a staple in this format as well as in the BT9 format. When Alphamon really kicks off, like, this card is just going to be pretty stable. So if you need these or you really want them and you're going to be playing this set, I mean, you might as well just bite the bullet at this point because yeah, I don't see them dropping. At anything, again, when Alphamon comes out, they're going to go back up again, so even higher. The Altart Doru Goromon, I think it's going to go down, especially the later into this format we go. I think this card will go lower and lower because once BT9 comes out, it's just straight Alphamon, and Doru Goromon really kind of hits the back burner a little bit. Now, it does get that new support, the new what is it? The deck support that kind of spins off of it a little bit, but I think that the Alphamon is just going to so outshine it that I can't imagine this doing too crazy by comparison. I think it will go down somewhat. It might not bottom out or anything like that, but I've predicted going down a little bit. Speaking of Alphamon here, we got our alt arts and our regular art still sitting pretty strong. I think the alt art has dropped down a little bit. It was sitting about 45 for a while. It still has the really high market price, but there are some listings that are a little bit lower. They're still going to be used a lot in this format. So if you need them, go ahead and pick them up because they're not going to drop. Okay, you might get a deal, but they're not going to lose value, I don't think. Even in BT9, there's still an argument for doing like a 2-2 split of the new alpha versus the old alpha. Next up, we got the Black War Greymon. So for this set, we're still a ways off from BT9 where we get Gaiamon or Samudramon, whatever you want to call him. We're still a ways off from that. So in the meantime, we need to figure out what our secondary mega is going to be. I did a little bit of testing today with the Red War Greymon from BT1, but I think there's still a big argument. If you saw my deck profile with the black build, there's still argument for these guys. With the new the level 5 that we're getting in this, the inheritable of attacking your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, this guy being able to attack your opponent's highest DP or highest play cost Digimon, and being able to constantly unsuspend, you can literally clear your whole opponent's field with this. Like, the ultimate board control is this card right here with that inheritable. Like, this is a fantastic card. So these prices have been pretty stable for a while. 15 and 30, like, that's been pretty consistent. If you're thinking about getting them, I don't see the price dropping. But if this deck does do well and it's with this build, the price will go up. So they won't get any lower than this because they've been at this price for a long time. But if they do well, they will shoot up. So just keep that in mind. So I think it's a safe investment if you want to pick up a couple of these just to have on hand. You won't lose value if you need to turn around and sell them if the deck doesn't do anything. I don't see you losing any value there. Just kind of keep that in mind. So potentially some easy money. Next, we got Zephyrmon here. This is the pre-release foil of it. Looking at these prices here, been pretty consistent. It's actually kind of at a low point right now. Security control, yellow hybrid security control is actually very popular in this format. Ophanimon, that sort of thing. It's got really good potential. I know people, this will probably be one of those really hated decks. It's always talked about as being a hated deck, but then like blue hybrid took over and was the worst deck. So you could play, security control and no one hated you as much. So these cards, do bottom out a little bit. I wouldn't say bottom out, but they do drop down a little bit. They're actually at a not so bad price right now. But the second this deck does well, these prices will go back up. And the same thing for the Jet Sylphimon here, sitting at about the same point here. It was way up in the beginning of that BT7 format. But as time has progressed through April and now we're into May, it's at a pretty stagnant kind of level here. I don't see it getting any worse. I think it's the deck is going to do well this format. So if anything, this price will go back up some. So if you're trying to wait for it to get any lower, I wouldn't expect it to, just because this deck is even better than it was in the previous format. So that just always means that the prices will go back up. And one interesting one to continue on with that deck is Chikurimon, right? The Digifest version here. This is the holo. This is the only way to get the holo foil of it, at least that I'm aware of. Yeah, because it's a common, so there was no pre-release of it with foiling. So this is the only way to get a foil of this card. For a black focus security control, if you don't want to run the Rapidmon package, you could run some Chikurimon here and then incorporate a couple, the Tactical Retreat. So you evo this and then throw and Tactical Retreat him into your own security for 1. So it's like a recovery 1 and it's a security effect. Like, that's pretty good. D-Digivolve 1 in this format is going to be killer. D-Digivolve 1, a Mastemon, a Pyildramon, like, that's devastating. War Greymon, whatever it is, like, you hit this in security on a lot of these meta decks, Alphamon, Dorgoromon, whatever. Like, there's a whole lot of megas in this format and like high-end stuff that Chikurimon messes up. So if someone takes off with this in the security control deck, this price is going to shoot up because these are fairly limited in like the amount you can get. And look, right now there's some low ones right here, 144 for these. Even the market price has them at higher than that. So if you want a play set, like, there's no harm. This card is cheap. Pick up a playset of this. I think this is going to be an easy card to shoot up. The second that deck does good, expect a buyout. 100% expect a buyout of this. The second security control with a black low end does well, because that gives access to Ultimate Flare, and Ultimate Flare in this format also very good for the exact same reason. D-Digivolve is massive in this format. So yeah, keep an eye out. Something else to keep an eye out, Jesmon Event Pack 2. What is going on? The prices just keeps going down and down and down. I don't see this price going down much more. For real, there's an $85 one here. Shoot, I should pick that one up right now. Okay, there's a couple, but still, like, market price here has it still in the hundreds. And with all the Jesmon reveals, like, yeah, okay, we got the starter deck, and the starter deck is doing okay in Japan, but now we got like the GX reveals. Oh my god, like, come on, there's no way Jesmon doesn't take back off again as like a serious like meta deck. Come BT10, this card will be outrageous in price. It'll go back up. Event Pack 2 for sure going to go back up. I can't imagine it going any lower than this. There's just no way. Not with all the support Jesmon is getting, and this card is still so good. in those builds as well. So yeah, if you're on the lookout, if you're on the fence about getting this card, it is going down, but like the second it stops going down, it won't go back down again. It'll just go back up the closer and closer we get to BT10 and those new starter decks. So yeah, 85 bucks off of, you know, these original prices. Like, these are less than half of what it used to be. Keep an eye out, because it's not going to be going down much more. These prices are still pretty insane. I thought they would have come down by now. Like, I know there was that initial hype during, was it December, when they did the reveals for Japan, and these prices just skyrocketed. I bought an alt art Beelzemon for a friend for Christmas for 45, and then a week later they did the reveals and it shot up. it shot up, and so when I gave it to them for Christmas, they're like, "You spent how much?" I was like, No. I bought it right before the reveals happened, and yeah, so it was crazy that it just kind of worked out like that. And then the Beelzemon here, also not too bad. Like, honestly, 32 isn't too bad, and the closer we get to EX2, the more this card is just going to go up in value. Both of these, EX2 isn't too far off. Like, it's slated for June. We'll see if that happens or not. Probably more like end of July, just because the world is in a crappy place right now with shipping. So, you know, not Bandai's fault, but yeah, expect, you know, these cards to maybe go up a little bit more. Like, once they start, like, hey, EX2 is about to come out, these prices will probably come back up. I don't see them going any lower than this, not this close to EX2. If you wanted to get them while they were low, you probably should have got them maybe a couple months ago. They might have dipped down a little bit after that initial hype, but yeah, no, this is like one of the most popular cards, or most popular Digimon in Digimon. So yeah, and kind of going right off of that, we got the Gallant Mons here. Not a secret rare, but some interesting ones here. The alt art sitting at just 15. He's been at 15 for a long while now. If, you know, when we get to EX2, I imagine this card will go up in price some. Maybe not tremendous amount, because there is a ton of printings of it. You know, we got the regular art, alt art, and then we got the store champion and store participant versions, which are pretty cheap, honestly. This artwork is amazing. I will say that the artwork looks really good. That pose is so dynamic. I love this pose more than the other ones. Like, this one, he's got like big old feet here and chicken legs, but this one just like looks super cool in that very dynamic pose there. But the alt art, though, I mean, when you see this alt art in person, that foiling looks so good. So if you're on the fence, again, about picking up some of these, if you don't have any Gallant Mons and you want to play Gallant Mon in EX2, now's going to be a good time, because people aren't thinking about it right yet. They're like super hyped for BT8, and they're not quite thinking about EX2, even though EX2 isn't a full set away. It is a mid-set release type of thing. So EX2 is close, guys. It's really close. So definitely go ahead and pick up your Gallant Mons if you want to be incorporating these guys into your Gallant Mon builds for EX1. And the last one, this is just kind of the card I'm always hyping up and talking about, is the Palmons here. And we've got the foil version and then the non-foil version. Now, this card does have a DigiFest foil print as well, so there's a lot of it in circulation now, more than there used to be, but it's still a promo card. It's not from a set release, so there are a fair amount of limited amounts of these, and once they become popular, then they'll shoot up in price. So for these foils, they're still sitting at about 13. I think I bought mine. Yeah, I bought mine when they were about 7. They did the when, what is it, BT9 started doing the reveals. The OTK, green OTK in BT9 is a real deck. It is formidable. It is one of 2 of the best decks. It's either Alphamon or, I would say, green OTK. Now, there is some other really awesome X antibody decks in that format, but I really, the green OTK one seems to be very powerful, very consistent, very easy to get off. So this Palmon here, for that giving it jamming, definitely going to be something people are going to be sought after. So if you haven't picked yours up, it is kind of, it spiked a little bit. Like, we got this big jump here, and then it's kind of just petering off. No one's really thinking about it. It might keep going down a little bit here. I definitely recommend getting foils, though. There's enough in rotation right now that you should be able to get a foil, no problem. But these prices were going to go back up. Okay, there's no way. It's been at 13 for, you know, about a month now, roughly, and it's going to go back up the closer and closer we get to BT9. Now, it might not happen till like after EX2. And then the price will go back up. But be on the lookout. Keep Palmon on your radar.